Welcome to Bonal Technologies video on ways you can expand stress relief capability. Hi, I'm Tom Hebel. I'm here with Greg Merritt. We'll introduce 3 of the 15 ways you can expand stress relief capability with confidence. Check out our other videos for the remaining 12.
Fourth way that we can improve or expand stress relief capability is by improving quality. These barrels were 7 inches in diameter and about 7 feet long. And the reason why I was able to improve quality is that Meta-Lax was able to be applied much later in the manufacturing than the heat treat could have been. So 9 barrels were being treated simultaneously. The tolerances were so tight that it led to normally a 50% scrap rate. Obviously, the reason why they wanted to stress relieve is to control machine distortion. And with Meta-Lax, as an added step, they were able to eliminate the 50% scrap rate. And the 15th way to expand stress relief capabilities is to eliminate thermal stress while it is being induced. This is an example coming from Bonal's own fab shop. Bonal actually discovered and developed a process that we call weld conditioning. Meta-Lax weld conditioning is when you apply Meta-Lax stress relief during welding. In our developmental state, we wanted to eliminate the thermal stress as the thermal stress was being induced. Okay, obviously the welding induces the thermal stress, and so we thought, well, let's just try it during welding, see what happens. And what we found is that after we got done welding, weld conditioning as it became known, and we stress relieved the parts later, what we found is that there was no shifting of the harmonic curve. No shifting meant that there was no thermal stress in the part. That meant that we could send those parts right to the machine shop, and we did. In this example, the rails were welded to tubular structure, and we stress relieved it throughout the welding, and the results were that we had 90% less than the tolerance. Our customer, when we started working with the customer said that those parts were the best in the history of their company. But also what we learned when we applied Meta-Lax stress relief during the welding is that this process prevented most of the weld distortion and the weld cracking from occurring in the first place. That meant that the Meta-Lax weld conditioning, man, that opened up a whole new line of problem-solving solutions to the welding industry. Imagine any of the problems dealing with weld distortion or weld cracking, weld porosity, weld imperfections, so forth. This Meta-Lax weld conditioning process should be a very, very important consideration. Okay, now my last example today is also applying the Meta-Lax stress relief, but during the welding. This example is for General Motors. It is going to be a checking fixture. It was machined on the one side, plus they put about 200 holes in there. Meta-Lax was applied during the welding, which is what we call Meta-Lax weld conditioning. After the weld conditioning, they noticed that the fixture was 80% straighter than normal weld distortion. They found that they did not even need to straighten the part. The parts right from the weld conditioning step was half of what the straightening would have been, the parts after the straightening process. And the straightening process was pretty complicated at that because it's tubing. They went to stress relieve it afterward. They found that there was no shifting, which meant that they could go right straight to the machine shop area, and they did. And their results were over the 15-foot length of these weldments, they were getting 1.5 thousandths, which was 85% better than their tolerance.
We have 5 different force inducer choices, and that allows us to do the parts that you can put in the palm of your hand to these 480,000 pound workpieces. So a force inducer selection is made, and then a console selection is made based on how sophisticated you want to get in the documentation of the workpiece. So we have something that's going to fit anybody's budget for sure.
We hope you realize there's no need to skip stress relief or be concerned about stress relieving difficult or impossible parts anymore. You can have confidence in Meta-Lax. If we can help you out in any way, let us know. Thanks for joining us.